So good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, some are not joining. If they join, I will admit them. Before time, we must be remain present, but some are not doing that. So in the last two periods, we are considering the investment accounting, the financial accounting topic. The investment account or accounting is done by the investors and the brokers. So when the investor is purchased or buyer is purchased the investment, accordingly the various types of activities which are to be involved in it that are to be recorded in the books of the investor or the buyer. The company which may have the huge funds with them which are not to be utilized for the business or other purposes, then by keeping as it is not benefited to them. So the surplus amount or funds are to be invested in the various types of securities, government bonds, other private company shares, debentures, and many other sources of investment that are to be chosen by the company, and the investment is to be made. So by making the investment, the money which can be remain as it is in the business, it can increase year after year through the interest received or the dividend received. In the case of shares, if the investment is made in the shares, that is to be liable for the dividend. And if the investment is made in debentures, government bonds, it is liable to be for the interest. So on the basis of it, we may always say that the interest or the particular amount which can be received fixed on the certain investment that are the fixed return investment, 10%, 15%, 18%, whatever may be, the government bonds or debentures are there. And on that investment only, X interest and cum interest is to be considered. So it is always better to think on which investment the X interest and cum interest is applicable. It is applicable to the investment which are having the fixed rate of interest or that type of earning. In that case only the cum interest and X interest is to be applicable. In the case of equity shares, the cum interest or X interest may not be there. So while we are considering some objective type of things, at that time it is to be very important to note down what I am telling on the equity shares which are not bearing the fixed rate of dividend. On that investment, X interest or cum interest may not be applicable. It may not be applicable to the equity shares, but debentures, bonds, and other securities which may have the fixed rate of interest earning, that investments are to be applicable for the cum interest and the X interest. So now I am going to present my PPT. हॅलो,
हो सर.
ऐकायला येत आहे?
आता माईक चालू झालंय सर.
टेक्निकल बाबी आहेत ह्या. ज्या पद्धतीने नेहमी मी शेअर करतो त्याच पद्धतीनं करतोय, पण काहीतरी घोटाळा होतोय. जरा मला बोलत राहा म्हणजे मला कळेल तुम्ही हो नाही. मला काहीच ऐकायला येत नाही मग.
हो सर.
ऐकायला येते आता?
हो सर.
हा, जरा असं कॉन्टॅक्ट मध्ये राहत जा म्हणजे मला कळेल. मी नुसतं इकडून तिकडून काहीतरी बघत बसतो आणि तुमचं काहीच मला ऐकायला येत नाही. आता स्क्रीन दिसते का?
हो सर.
यस नो?
यस सर.
माईक जरा जवळ घ्या, तांडेल ना, मला तुमचं काहीच ऐकायला येत नाही. माझा आवाज कसा खणखणीत तुमच्यापर्यंत पोहोचतो तसा तुमचा आवाज पण माझ्यापर्यंत पोहोचू देत जा. जरा माईक थोडा जवळ घ्यायचा. आपल्या कानाचा इयरफोन जो आहे ना, तो जिथून आपला आवाज येतो तिथं जवळ घेत जा म्हणजे मला ऐकायला येईल. So again I repeat some things which are to be important in the investment accounting. Accounting standard 13. Is it visible and audible to you?
सर ब्लँक आहे स्क्रीन.
ब्लँक आहे?
हो सर. व्हाईट.
काहीच दिसत नाही.
आवाज फक्त येतोय.
हो सर.
व्हाईट सर, पूर्ण व्हाईट आहे.
बाबा, काय करावं. आता येतोय आवाज?
हो सर. आवाज येते पण दिसत काय नाही, ब्लँक आहे.
आता
दिसत नाही सर, ब्लँक आहे. आवाज येतोय तुमचा.
पूर्ण व्हाईट आहे सर.
आता स्क्रीन दिसते ना, मी पण दिसतोय.
हो सर.
हो सर.
बापरे. प्रेझेंटेशन, एक मिनिट. जोपर्यंत माझा आवाज येतोय तोपर्यंत माझ्याशी बोलत राहा. आता दिसतंय का?
नाही सर, पूर्ण व्हाईट आहे.
ब्लँक दिसते सर.
आता
तुम्ही दिसताय सर.
एक मिनिट. आली का स्क्रीन?
हो सर.
बापरे, हे दिव्य फार मोठा आहे. Is it visible?
यस सर.
येस सर.
Okay. So today we are going to start the cost of investment. When the purchase of investment or sale of investment is done, the cost of investment is very important because the cost of investment is not only the purchase price of the investment, but it can includes the purchase price, acquisition charges such as brokerage fees and various types of duties. So when we are calculating the cost of investment, at that time, I have mentioned here, purchase price of the investment is to be recorded. That is, the amount is to be, we can record by XXS amount, purchase price of the investment. Then add the brokerage amount is to be again added in the purchase price. Then add fees and commissions, and then add the stamp duty which is paid to the government. So suppose the cost of the purchase price amount is 1 lakh rupee, brokerage is 10%, that is 10,000, fees and commission is 5,000, and stamp duty is 5,000. Then accordingly, all this total is to be considered as cost of investment. So not only the purchase price of the investment is to be included in the cost of investment, but also the other charges which are to be taken into consideration. Now, while solving the problem or making the particular things in the accounting treatment, we may know that what is the cost of investment includes. It may include purchase price, it may include brokerage, it may include fees and commission, and it may include stamp duty which is paid to the government. Now another point is disposal of investment. Disposal means sale of investment. After the some period of time, the company or the corporate companies are selling that particular investment in the market, and it is because they require some amounts, some funds, and if they feel that in the particular situation the market price of that particular investment is increased, then the profit is to be earned by the particular company. So disposal or sale of investment, if the 1 lakh rupee investment is sold for rupees 1,20,000, then 20,000 is the profit which is made to the company, and this is to be transferred to profit and loss account separately. Then carrying amount of investment. Now every year the investment account is to be closed. Say for example, from 2015 to 2020, 5 or 6 years information is given in the problem. Then every year at the end of the particular 31st March or 31st December, the amount is to be carried out and brought down respectively. So books of accounts are to be closed every year at the end of the particular date, and long-term investment should be carried in the financial statement at a cost. So this is also one important thing which is to be remembered, that long-term investment should be carried out in the financial statement at cost. So cost at cost and not the fair value or other value. So at cost is very important word, and the short-term investment are to be shown in the lower of cost or fair value as per the accounting standard 13. So if the investments are acquired at different costs, say for example, in the year 2015, investment is acquired, same investment is acquired for rupees 1 lakh, then it is in 2016 1,10,000, in 2017 it is to be 1,20,000. So at the various year or different years, the prices are different, and the purchase is done at the various dates. So if in between some part of the investment is sold, the carrying amount ascertained by the weighted average method. The weighted average method we have studied in the FY BCom accountancy topic. Weighted in the this year also we can studying the FIFO method and weighted average method in the cost accounting in the inventory valuation. The weighted average method, as per the weighted average method, the amount of investment is to be calculated if the different years, different dates, different values are to be of the investment, and sometimes in between, if the part of the investment is sold, then the particular valuation is done as per the weighted average method. Then another part is here, come interest and ex interest. Now purchase and sale of particular investment, if it is done before the date of payment, then the question may be arise regarding the come interest or the ex interest. On the date of particular interest, there is no ex interest or come interest. Say for example, 31st December and 30th June, if the date of interest are to be payable, then if the 31st December the purchase or sold is done, there is no come interest or ex interest. As well as on 30th June, if the purchase or sold is done, then there is no come interest or ex interest. But in between, instead of 31st December or 30th June, in any other date, the investment is purchased or sold, then there is a ex interest and the come interest. So the question may be regarding the ex interest and come interest is to be relates with. Now this again I have mentioned here, the come interest or ex interest is relates only the securities which are bearing the fixed rate of interest and not for the dividend or equity shares like that. So some of the important things that you can note down what I am telling, what you are seeing in the PPT, because at every level or at every point, what is to be asked in the objective type of question, I can't say or you can't say that perfectly. And that is why this type of information or the theory part is also important in the that is the choice questions. Then accounting treatment. In the accounting treatment, purchase and sale of investment when is to be done, then journal entries in the books of the investor or the buyer is to be passed. So accounting treatment is done in the books of buyer or the investor. The person who buys, that is buyer, and the company who is purchased, that is the investor. So such types of things are there in the accounting treatment of the investment accounting. So first point I have mentioned here, on the purchase of investment, the entry is made investment account debit to cash or bank account. Narration being so and so amount of investment is purchased on the so and so date, that is to be the narration. Then 1st January or whatever may be the year started and 31st March is the year ending, on that date the purchase is done on the 1st January, then the investment account is to be debited and the bank account is to be credited. Now after the 1st January, suppose in the month of September, so how many months are there? January, February, March, April, May, June. In the month of June, 30 June, if the interest is received, then on the receipt of interest, the entry is made bank account debit to interest account. Narration being so and so percentage of interest for the so and so months. For the 6 months, sometimes it may be for the 2 months, 1 month, 4 months, like that. If the duration is of the 6 months, that is in between interest date, at that time the interest may be received only for 1 month, only for 15 days, only for 3 months, like that. Not wholly for the 6 months. The consideration is to be perfectly made that how many period of the interest is to be there, and accordingly the interest is to be calculated month wise. If for 3 months the interest is 100 rupees, 200 rupees, that is 200 multiplied by 3, that means 600 rupees interest is to be received in the particular interest. Then on sale of investment, in the case of sale of investment, whether the investment is sold at the before or after the interest payment date, then there may also arises some amount of interest is to be included or excluded. So bank account debit to investment account, that type of entry is to be made, and at the end of the year, particular year, the amount of interest is to be transferred to profit and loss account. That is why the entry is made, interest account debit to profit and loss account, like that. And the accounts are to be opened, that is interest account is to be debited and profit and loss account is to be credited. And when the profit and loss account is always asked to be open, then we can transfer this P&L account balance, that is by balance carried down to balance carried down every year from 2015 to 2020, like that. Then number 5 is on transfer of P&L on sale of investment. Just I have told you, if any investment which is purchased for rupees 1 lakh and it is sold for rupees 1,20,000, the 20,000 amount is the profit, and that profit is transferred to P&L account as per the usual basis. And if the investment of rupees 1 lakh is to be sold for rupees 90,000, then there is a loss, and that loss also transferred to the profit and loss account as per the accounting policy or the accounting procedure. Now, if profit, I have mentioned here, if profit is there, investment account debit to P&L account is entry is made, and if the loss is there, reverse entry, profit and loss account debit to investment account is made. Now, investment ledger, that is a 15% government bonds, that account is to be opened, and for this account there are 3 columns of amounts related and one is particular. So on the debit side, particular column, then fair value or face value, then in between income, and then the amount, that type of columns are there on the debit side, and same columns are there on credit side, particulars, fair value or face value of the particular investment. Then income means interest, that is to be recorded. Profit, if profit is received, that also recorded in the income column, and amount, that is a cost value or fair value, that is to be recorded accordingly. So this is the amount and the various types of incomes that are to be recorded in the investment ledger account. When we solve the problem, at that time you can become very clear that how the investment ledger or the account is to be opened. Now, why this investment account is opened? To record each security on the particular date, where it is purchased or where it is sold. Accordingly, if the sold is there, transaction is there, it is recorded on the credit side, and if the purchase of investment is there, it is to be recorded on the debit side. So to collect the interest and dividend, in the case of equity shares, the dividend is to be received, and this is a not fixed earning security. Dividend equities are not fixed earning security, that's why they are not comes in the come interest or the X interest. Then value at the end of the year, then what is the profit or loss on the sale of that particular investment, that is to be taken into consideration accordingly. So accounting treatment these 5 entries or 6 entries are to be there, and that are to be repeated every year. When the purchase is made, the purchase journal entry is to be repeated again and again on that particular date. If the interest is received 6 monthly, then the same entry is to be repeated again. If the sale of investment is done 3 years, 4 years, 5, that is 3 months, 4 months period of time, then that can also be repeated again. Then whatever may be the interest amount which we have received, that is to be transferred to P&L account and repeated again. And what is the profit or loss on sale of investment, that can also be repeated in that particular year. So in any particular year, 2-3 transactions, if there is a happening, then you can repeat that same entry, repeat that same balance, repeat that same interest received as per the particular information given in the problem. And at the end of the year, when such things are to be there, so another, this is not related to us. So what is I am telling is that in the books of the investor, the investment account is to be opened, and in the books of the broker, the another part is in the books of broker, the client's account is open. Broker can open the company's account. Broker can open the individual person's account. Company is also client and the individual person is also client. So when the ledger accounts are asked in the books of broker, then you don't open the investment account. You can open in the books of broker the client's account, ABC company or Ashok and brothers, whatever may be, and accordingly the entries for the particular purchase and sale are to be made in the case of brokerage. Now in the case of investor, when the purchase is done, we can make the entry investment account debit to cash or bank account. And in the case of brokerage, if the investment is purchased, then in the broker can say that bank account debit to client's account. तर इकडे इन द बुक्स ऑफ इन्व्हेस्टरच्या पुस्तकामध्ये जेव्हा आपण इन्व्हेस्टमेंट अकाउंट ओपन करतो, परचेस केल्यानंतर आपण डेबिटला टू बँक म्हणतो, तसं इथं याच्या विरुद्ध त्याची एंट्री होईल. म्हणजे दोन्हींच्या बाबतीमध्ये विरोधी असा संबंध आहे. इन द बुक्स ऑफ ब्रोकर क्लायंट अकाउंट कंपनीज अकाउंट इज ओपन, त्यावेळेला तिथं देखील असेच कॉलम असतील, फक्त एकाच्या डेबिटला असलेलं दुसऱ्याच्या क्रेडिटला जाईल आणि दुसऱ्याच्या क्रेडिटला असलेलं ह्या दुसऱ्या मेथडमध्ये त्याच्या डेबिटला जाईल. सो रिव्हर्स recording is to be made in the books of broker and that is to be very important. ब्रोकरच्या पुस्तकामध्ये काही वेळेला प्रॉब्लेम तुम्हाला लेजर अकाउंट्स ओपन करायला सांगतील, पण मेजॉरिटी टाइम म्हणजे इन द बुक्स ऑफ इन्व्हेस्टर इन्व्हेस्टमेंट अकाउंट हे ओपन करायला सांगतात. मग प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंट त्याच्या अनुषंगाने आलं. इंटरेस्ट अकाउंट जर सांगितलं तर इंटरेस्ट अकाउंट आपल्याला ओपन करावं लागेल. दॅट इज सबसिडरी अकाउंट्स, पूरक अकाउंट्स आहेत अँड दॅट आर टू बी ओपन as per the information given in the problem. Now one more thing I have yesterday also told you, when the investment accounting problem is to be solved, at that time for each and every transaction a separate working note is to be prepared. Separate working note तयार करावी लागते आणि त्याच्याशिवाय आपल्याला सगळ्या फिगर ह्या बरोबर आहेत की नाही, whether these are correct or not, whether these are right or not, हे आपल्याला दिलेल्या इन्फॉर्मेशनच्या द्वारे कॅल्क्युलेशन केल्यानंतरच आपल्याला समजून येतं. तोपर्यंत आपण प्रत्येक सेल केले तर त्याची वर्किंग नोट करायची, परचेस केले तर त्याची वर्किंग नोट करायची, इंटरेस्ट असेल तर त्या इंटरेस्टची वर्किंग नोट करायची. कारण इंटरेस्ट हे 6 महिन्याला जरी तुम्हाला मिळत असलं तर एखादी जर इन्व्हेस्टमेंट मध्येच सोल्ड केली तर जिथपर्यंत तुमच्याकडे ती इन्व्हेस्टमेंट होती तिथपर्यंतच तुम्हाला व्याज मिळेल. सोल्ड केल्यानंतर पुढच्या महिन्याचं व्याज तुम्हाला त्याच्यावर मिळणार नाही. म्हणजे 6 महिन्याचं व्याज विदाउट सोल्ड तुम्हाला डोळे झाकून मिळेल, पण इन्व्हेस्टमेंट जर मध्येच 3 महिन्यानंतर विकली तर फक्त 3 महिन्याचाच इंटरेस्ट तुम्हाला त्याच्यावरती काढावा लागेल. 6 महिन्यासाठी एवढा असेल तर 1 महिन्यासाठी किती, मग 1 महिन्याचा असो, 2 महिन्याचा असो, 3 महिन्याचा असो, 4 महिन्याचा असो, इव्हन 5 महिन्याचा असो, त्या पद्धतीने आपल्याला इंटरेस्ट मिळाल्याचं दाखवावं लागेल. म्हणून प्रत्येक वेळेला सगळ्याच ट्रान्झॅक्शनच्या बाबतीमध्ये वर्किंग नोट मस्ट बी नेसेसरी. इट इज रिक्वायर्ड. विदाउट दॅट वी कॅनॉट फाइंड the amount or figures of that particular interest, particular purchase, particular sale, particular profit on sale of investment, and the loss on the particular investment. So all these things one by one can be considered very very sincerely. तारीख बघायची, त्याच्यानुसार अमाउंट्स बघायच्या आणि कशा पद्धतीने आपल्याला इंटरेस्ट कॅल्क्युलेट करायचं. पर्सेंटेज सगळ्याच इन्व्हेस्टमेंटच्या बाबतीमध्ये पर्सेंटेज एकच असेल काय सांगता येत नाही. डिफरंट टाइप्स ऑफ सिक्युरिटीज जर परचेस केलेले असतील तर त्याचा रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट हा बहुतेक करून सारखाच असतो, परंतु जर बदलला तर आपल्याला रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट सुद्धा त्या प्रमाणामध्ये कमी जास्त मिळाल्याचं दाखवावं लागेल. म्हणजे पहिल्या 6 महिन्याचं एवढं व्याज होतं, पुढच्या 6 महिन्याचं एवढं व्याज आहे असं गृहीत धरून पुन्हा एका महिन्याला एवढं येणार, 2 महिन्याचं तेवढं येणार, 3 महिन्याचं तेवढं येणार, असे शॉर्टकट मात्र आपल्याला इथे वापरता येत नाहीत. जशी माहिती दिलेली असेल, जशी इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये पॉइंट आउट केलेली असेल, अकॉर्डिंग टू दॅट यू कॅन मेक द पर्टिक्युलर इंटरेस्ट अँड द प्रॉफिट ऑर लॉस ऑन द सेल ऑफ द इन्व्हेस्टमेंट. तर ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी अगदी क्लिअर कट तुम्हाला सांगितलेल्या आहेत. आता ब्रोकरला किती टक्क्यांनी ब्रोकरेज द्यायचं हे आपल्याला प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये दिलेलं असतं. समटाइम्स कमिशन हे त्याला दिलं जातं 5%, 3%, 2%. मग आपण ते फेस व्हॅल्यू वरती कमिशन हे काढायचं असतं, कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यूवर काढायचं नाही. कारण फेस व्हॅल्यू ही जास्त असते आणि कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यू ही कमी असते. जे फेअर व्हॅल्यू किंवा फेस व्हॅल्यू त्याला नॉमिनल व्हॅल्यू देखील म्हणतात. कुठला शब्द वापरलाय, फेस व्हॅल्यू, फेअर व्हॅल्यू, नॉमिनल व्हॅल्यू, हे आपल्याला प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये समजलं पाहिजे. कुठला जरी शब्द वापरला तरी तो एकच आहे. मधला कॉलम आहे इन्कम, त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्हाला डिव्हिडंड मिळेल, इंटरेस्ट मिळेल आणि शेवटी कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यू जी काय असेल ती कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यू तुमची 1 लाखाला जर फेअर व्हॅल्यू असेल आणि 90,000ची जर कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यू असेल तर 1 लाख हे फेअर व्हॅल्यूला लिहायचे आणि कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यूला 90,000 लिहायचे. म्हणजे हे सगळं आपल्याला प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये दिलेलं असतं. उलट सुलट करायचं नाही. कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यूच्या ऐवजी फेअर व्हॅल्यू आणि फेअर व्हॅल्यूच्या ऐवजी कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यू असं जर कुठे ना कुठे आपण व्हॅल्यू नोंदल्या हे जर तुम्ही करत असाल तर दॅट इज रॉंग. जे सांगितलंय त्याच कॉलमला ती रक्कम लिहिली पाहिजे. नाहीतर जे नसतात ना, पिरियडला नसतील, त्यांना माहिती नसेल, त्यांना फेअर व्हॅल्यू कॉलम लिहितील ते, पण ती कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यूची अमाऊंट लिहितील आणि कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यू इकडे लिहितील आणि अमाऊंट मात्र लिहिताना फेअर व्हॅल्यूची लिहितील किंवा नॉमिनल व्हॅल्यू, अशा पद्धतीने ते लिहू शकतील. काही असतं माणसाचं दुसऱ्याचं बघून लिहिताना किती रे अमाऊंट म्हणायचं आणि त्या पद्धतीने लिहायचं म्हणलं की त्या गोष्टी सातत्यानं घडत असतात. तर आपण तसं रेग्युलर आहात आणि त्या रेग्युलर परिस्थितीमध्ये निश्चितपणानं तुम्हाला ह्या गोष्टी म्हणजे माहीत पडलेल्या असतील आणि समजलेल्या असतील असं गृहीत धरून मग आपल्याला ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी कराव्या लागतील. तर हे महत्वाचं जे आहे ते महत्वाचं मी तुम्हाला संपूर्णतः सांगितलेलं आहे. म्हणजे अकाउंटिंग ऑफ इन्व्हेस्टमेंट हे जर आपल्याला अकाउंटिंग स्टँडर्ड 13 नुसार सांगितलेलं असेल तर त्यामध्ये दिलेल्या ज्या काही नियमांची, कंडिशनची, या सगळ्या गोष्टींची आपल्याला दक्षता घेऊन मगच आपल्याला तो प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करायचा असतो. आता शेवटी हे झालं लेजर अकाउंट्स ओपन केल्यानंतर. आता प्रत्येक कॉलम आपल्याला क्लोज करायचा असतो. प्रत्येक कॉलम जो फेअर व्हॅल्यू आहे किंवा नॉमिनल व्हॅल्यू आहे किंवा फेस व्हॅल्यू आहे, हा एक कॉलम झाला. मधला इन्कम कॉलमची टोटल डेबिटची जास्त आहे की क्रेडिटची जास्त आहे हे आपल्याला प्रत्यक्षात टोटल केल्यानंतरच समजतं. आणि कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यूची व्हॅल्यू देखील त्या पद्धतीने आपल्याला समजते. त्यामुळं इन्कम जर समजा क्रेडिटचं अमाऊंटची टोटल ही 10,000 आहे आणि डेबिटची समजा 8,000 आहे, तर 2,000 रुपये जो डिफरन्स आहे तो तिथं टू बॅलन्स कॅरीड डाऊन किंवा टू प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंट अशा पद्धतीने जे काय असेल ते लिहायचं. आणि सगळ्याच कॉलमच्या टोटल्स अगोदर कुठली जास्त आहे ते आपल्याला टोटल केल्यावरच समजेल. डेबिट जास्त आहे की क्रेडिट जास्त आहे त्या रकमांची टोटल केल्याशिवाय आपल्याला कळणार नाही. परीक्षेमध्ये तर नाहीच नाही. म्हणजे आपल्याला अंदाज घ्यावा लागेल डेबिट जास्त अमाऊंट आहे की क्रेडिट जास्त आहे. तिन्ही कॉलमच्या एकाच वेळेला डेबिट जास्त असतील आणि एकाच वेळेला क्रेडिट जास्त असतील असं नाही. फेअर व्हॅल्यू किंवा नॉमिनल व्हॅल्यू किंवा फेस व्हॅल्यू ही डेबिटची जास्त असेल तर क्रेडिटची कमी असेल एखाद्या प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये. दुसऱ्या एखाद्या प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये क्रेडिट जास्त असेल तर डेबिट कमी असेल. अशा पद्धतीनं मग तो टू बॅलन्स कॅरीड डाऊन, बाय बॅलन्स कॅरीड डाऊन हे शब्द वापरायचे असतात. आणि कॉस्ट व्हॅल्यूला देखील डेबिट जास्त असेल क्रेडिट कमी असेल तर त्या पद्धतीने त्याची अमाऊंट ही बाय बॅलन्स कॅरीड डाऊन किंवा टू बॅलन्स कॅरीड डाऊन अशा पद्धतीने लिहायची असते. हे सगळं स्टेप बाय स्टेप आपल्याला वन बाय वन करावं लागेल. आणि नंतर मग आपलं पुन्हा शेवटी ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह टाईप मध्ये विचारलं की अमाऊंट ऑफ फेअर व्हॅल्यू कॉलम इज टू बी शोन, काय दाखवेल ते आपल्याला त्याच्यामधून सांगता आलं पाहिजे आणि त्या दृष्टिकोनातून आपण हे केलं पाहिजे. थोडंसं थांबतो मी. आपला पहिला पिरियड आता संपलेला आहे. दुसरा पिरियड आपला